Imagine you are one of the most powerful creatures on Earth. You weigh over 4,000 pounds. Your skin is like living armor, thick enough to deflect a predator's claws. And on your face sits a weapon made of solid keratin, a horn that commands respect from every living thing in the savannah. But you have a fatal flaw. You are nearly blind. You can't see a threat until it's right on top of you. In the brutal wild of Africa, being a giant isn't enough. To survive, you need eyes that see what you can't. Meet the red-billed oxpecker. To some, it's just a hitchhiker. To others, it's a pest. But to the rhino, this tiny bird, weighing less than a deck of cards, is the difference between life and death. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the rhino's guard. How does this tiny bird protect a 2-ton giant? And why is their friendship far more complicated and bloodier than you've been told? This isn't a new friendship. For thousands of years, oxpeckers and African megafauna have lived in what scientists call mutualism. In Swahili, the bird is known as askari wa kifaru, literally, the rhino's guard. Why does a rhino tolerate a bird jumping all over its face? The answer lies in the rhino's skin. Despite its toughness, it's a magnet for parasites. Ticks, flies, and larvae burrow into the folds of the rhino's skin, causing itching, infection, and disease. The oxpecker is a specialized feeder. Its beak is designed like a pair of surgical tweezers. It spends its entire life on the backs of large mammals, cleaning them. One oxpecker can eat thousands of ticks in a single day. For the rhino, it's a free grooming session. For the bird, it's a never-ending buffet. But the true value of the oxpecker isn't in its appetite, it's in its voice. In 2020, researchers from Australia and South Africa conducted a groundbreaking study. They wanted to know, does the oxpecker actually talk to the rhino? A rhino can only see clearly for about 30 feet. A human hunter can hit a target from hundreds of yards away. This makes rhinos incredibly vulnerable to poaching. However, the study found that rhinos with oxpeckers on their backs were twice as likely to detect an approaching human compared to those without the birds. When the bird senses a threat, whether it's a lion in the grass or a human with a camera, it emits a specific hissing alarm call. The rhino doesn't need to see the threat. It hears the bird, it smells the air, and it reacts. The bird acts as a biological radar system, giving the giant the one thing it lacks: perspective. But don't be fooled. This isn't a Disney movie. The relationship between the oxpecker and the rhino has a dark, parasitic twist. You see, the oxpecker doesn't just love ticks, it loves blood. Scientists have observed that oxpeckers will often peck at existing wounds, keeping them open so they can drink the host's blood. They are, in a sense, tiny vampires. Sometimes they even pull out the rhino's hair to build their nests. So why does the rhino allow this? Why tolerate a bird that is literally drinking your blood? Because in the wild, the price of a small wound is worth the reward of life. A few drops of blood is a small tax to pay for a sentinel that keeps you safe from the ultimate predator, man. Today, the rhino is fighting for its life. Poaching has pushed many species to the brink of extinction. But there's another problem. In some areas, oxpecker populations have declined due to the use of toxic pesticides on cattle. When the birds disappear, the rhino becomes blind again. Without its tiny guardian, the rhino is left alone in a world full of shadows and threats. Conservationists are now realizing that to save the rhino, we must also save the bird. Nature is an intricate web. You cannot pull one thread without the whole thing unraveling. The story of the rhino and the oxpecker is a reminder that in nature, size doesn't determine importance. A 2-ton beast and a 2-ounce bird have formed a bond that has survived for eons. It's a partnership built on trust, blood, and the common goal of seeing the next sunrise. If you found this story fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe to Hassan B2K for more deep dives into the world's most incredible animals. What's your favorite wild duo? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.